Hello, welcome to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. Today I'm doing personal numerology number one. I did a video before this one where I teach you how to calculate your personal year for whatever year we may fall in. As I'm recording this is for personal year 2025, but the calculations that I put in the video will allow you to calculate for 2024. It will allow you to see, did 2024 measure up to what actually played out in my life? You can also move ahead to 26, 27, 28 to kind of see how the cycles of geometry, sacred geometry, influence your life over the next few years. So if you did your calculations for your day and your month along with the current year, then you will see that if you're a number one, this is a time of new beginnings, a fresh starts and planting seeds for the future. It's a time to explore new interests, right? This is all beginnings. These are all fresh beginnings and exploring new things and also being really adaptable to change, being really courageous with embracing change, because it's a year that goes by. It's a fast process when you're in number one personal year. So many opportunities and support systems are there to allow you to have the life of your dreams, to go in that direction. And it's really, you will really learn the meaning of the word courage in the number one year, because you're kind of forced by things that happened in the number 9 year, which is previously, because we talked about how the personal years go in cycles. So you will learn the meaning of the word courage, whether you embrace the change and go through with everything, or you resist. You will be forced. You will be forced by circumstances to change, and you don't want to. You don't want that to happen. You might learn about your own individuality, who you really are, and the changes you need to make to achieve the goals you want. And remember that the personal year cycles are based on the universal year cycles, which currently we're coming up to 2025, and that universal year is a number 9. It's a transformation year, letting go of the past year, which if you're a personal year one, you have spent a lot of time doing that already. So this for you, if you are going into 2025 and you are in a personal year one and you're in a universal year 9, you're going to experience more letting go, because the entire planet is letting go and transforming, and you are going to very quickly become and evolve to who you're meant to be. You're going to take stock of who you want to be, and you're going to do a lot of things to achieve those goals. They're going to happen, again, I said very fast, and it's going to take a lot of courage. Now, I follow numerology for so many years, but just recently I came across a site by Christine Delore. She has a lot of information. I'm sourcing this from, as I will start speaking right now. I'm going to take a lot of information from her site. And if you really want to know more about yourself, your complete numerology, I really like her. She's very thorough, and I would get a forecast from her, or I would get a whole reading from her, like a life path number or something like that. So I will put her website in the description box so you can find her. Because I'm not a numerologist. I work with numerology in tarot is very important. I also know numerology from astrology, but I'm not a numerologist. Okay, so I'm a psychic, which is a different skill set. So if you want more information, I'll leave you her information in the description box. Now, she says that the 1 year is a journey of change, new beginnings, independence, and this is what I love, and this is so true. Becoming who you really are. All right? So, no matter how familiar things seem, you are on an entirely different road now. When that calendar year switches, you're going to feel things happen very quickly. The 1 year is the first year of a brand new 9 year cycle of your life. It urges you to create a more satisfying existence by recognizing the new potential that is developing. It is a time of change and new beginnings. Last year, your number 9 year, brought an entire 9 year era of your life to an end. And it was probably emotionally confusing and very taxing to go through those endings. But those experiences, they're necessary so that this year's beginnings can occur. You had to put all that aside. You had to let go. You had to finish things. The past is over. But you'll need to release the feelings and beliefs that are anchoring you to it. So there is still maybe some residual. And luckily, the universal year is 9, so you will be releasing more. So then instead of being shocked or confused by this year's changes, you will more easily understand their purpose. The 1 year is a time of new interests, experiences, goals, and understandings about your life, about you, where you've been, where you are now, where you would like to be. And because such drastic change is required, you will be learning the meaning of courage. I just am at the end of my number of 1 year. Boy, I have had to learn the meaning of the word courage, all right? You just have to tackle everything that's going on and ride that wave. It's like riding a big wave if you were like a surfer. And it's amazing, but it takes courage. So 1 is the number of self, and you will gain a much greater self-awareness this year. You will learn about individuality and the vital changes that must take place within you if you are to obtain what you need. And remember, I told you that if you don't embrace these changes and ride this wave, you will be forced to change and it will not be pleasant. Or you won't be able to take advantage of the gifts in this. So you'll be learning about independence, leadership. Leadership is a big part of the number 1, and originality. And you will need great faith in yourself to take the appropriate action. You'll encounter situations involving your deepest feelings, your unique mind and talent, and your need for greater freedom. 1 year, you're the leader. You're the one who's different in the 1 year, and that is so important to you this particular year. So you must learn to adapt to the changes taking place inside of you and around you while your ability to lead yourself and others gets tested. Your progress will be helped along by all the new opportunities and understandings. You will have support. You will have support for these new opportunities. Just remember that 1 is a number of individuality, and that no one can define freedom for another without placing limits on freedom. So start out by accepting the need for real and complete change. Remember, this is the beginning of your 9-year cycle, and what you do in your number 1 year lays the groundwork for this entire 9-year cycle. So it is really coming to grips with the need for complete change. Okay? So you have to develop a realistic sense of your own self-worth. Listen and follow your feelings. What you do this year will set the course, right? So this should provide all the incentive you need to make your decisions carefully and realistically. And by really looking at your past and accepting the reality of your past, what you've been through, you become more aware of who you really are. So if you think you already know your true identity, be prepared for some new truths to emerge that you'll be surprised. You may start to doubt beliefs and attitudes you've always held as you realize they're no longer appropriate to current circumstances. You may have already been feeling that in this past year, your 9-year. You're already moving toward that 1 year, and you're already finding what's outdated, what's outmoded, what's no longer serving you, so that you can start, this new year. And you may feel a little out of place around the people with you've typically felt comfortable. And you may need to, realize to let go of some people in order to have this new beginning, because they're not on the same wavelength as you. So doubts may arise to how you can be free when responsibilities or circumstances stand in your way. There is such a need for freedom in the number 1 year, and for you to make your mark and be the leader. You have to feel every feeling that arises around such issues. At some point, you will instinctively know that it's time to move in a completely different direction, even if it means doing so alone, right? You may have realized in your past number 9 year, that's in tarot, that's the year of being independent and alone. So you were already letting go of some of the things from the past. And in the 1 year, it's you have to really do and carry a lot on your own. It teaches, personally, year 1 teaches you to be independent. But attaining independence often brings feelings of isolation and loneliness, So it's not always easy, there's always two sides to something. So those you thought you could count on may become unavailable. Attaining independence, it always produces guilt, which can be seen, for the destructive force it is. Otherwise, you'll become stuck in a painful rut of resentment, confusion, and blame. So, sometimes you do have to get out of these codependent relationships that are not allowing you to grow. So you need to change old routines and welcome new activity. You're going to feel like it's in the number 1 year. You're going to feel like some of the things you loved before are the same old, same old, same old. It's like Groundhog Day. It's like, oh, this again, this again. I used to love this so much, but in the number 1 year, you're going to start to feel like you need change, drastic change. You may find yourself being buffeted, with no will of your own for a long time to come. There's an opportunity to choose the direction you want to take. It enables your will to emerge as the only alternative to guilt and fear. I mean, you may feel guilty what you leave behind. You may be afraid of change, but your will be strong during this time. Problems, they rise as long as you resist change. If you can just go with the flow, I guarantee you, if you go with the flow and take advantage of this wave of change with a number 1 year, you will find support. You will call upon your angels and guides and you ask for support, and that support will be there to enhance your change, to help you plant these new seeds of change. You just got to stay flexible, um, because you may have had other goals, that you've been thinking about for years, but they may be diverted into some unexpected new paths. So the only thing you can reliably expect this year is change. It's the only thing that is reliable, is that yes, there's a lot of change. And one leads to another, like one chain leads to another change, leads to another change. You don't have to know exactly. You can follow that flow, it'll transport you physically, emotionally, and spiritually far from where you were. You'll really be surprised. Consider what's best for you, and then go ahead in that direction. Don't think about others right now. This year is for you. Number one, think of yourself this year, right? You got to think of yourself this year. You got to focus on you. This is the year that calls for you to focus on yourself. And it is hard to work in those responsibilities with others, but you need to do this. You need a self-care year. Start fresh. Decide what direction you want long term, in the future to take. You may not know exactly, but start small and see where it takes you. Just take those first steps towards your goal, because small beginnings, they have big endings. So at the end of this 9-year cycle, or even the end of this year, you'll see a big change. But once you get, this year starts off that 9-year cycle, and you can have a fabulous big ending in your next 9 cycle year for your personal year. And your various relationships, they're vitally important. So much love and happiness can be experienced there, but you can't depend on anyone else for your happiness or success. You have to grit it up and just rely on you, and try to surround yourself with realistic thinking, free thinking people who don't judge and criticize your every move. This is not the year where you shouldn't have people around you that criticize you. They will bring you down. Find a way to minimize, if not completely get away from these people. Some people, they may be in your family, or they may be long-term loyal friends, whatever, but you need to just minimize to help yourself. Like, you're planting seeds. You don't need the criticism of anybody else digging up that seed and inspecting it and saying something's wrong with it. You need to put that seed in the ground, water it, have faith in yourself, and envision that growing into just some wonderful new tree or plant, whatever you imagine this big, huge embrace growing and going out into the world. So you got to stop judging yourself. Um, you need to balance your ego, between overinflation or deflation. Just get rid of the ego either way. You may have to, as I get, break away from people who habitually disapprove of you or your plans, or, God forbid you have anyone exerting control over you. That's the last thing you need in your number 1 year, because you need to be the leader in your own life in the number 1 year. Know what you want and believe in yourself. If your abilities are lacking in some way, take the time to learn what is necessary to fulfill your intentions. As you strive toward freedom, others will become less dependent or critical. See, because you're feeling good about embracing your freedom, you're feeling good about yourself, and you will not have those others mirroring parts of you that feel less than. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever happens in your life is a mirror for your consciousness. So as you develop your inner reserves of strength, courage, and freedom, and you feel solid in that, you start to become more solid in that, then the people that criticize you, they're not going to have anything to hook onto. And what will happen is people will mirror support to you. They'll be like, wow, you're so wonderful, you're so courageous, look at what you've done, I can't believe what you have accomplished. You'll create another mirror for what's happening in this year, one that supports you. That's how it works. So the more self-accepting you are, the happier everyone will be. So you may think you're disappointing some people who, you have codependency with or something, but in reality, they need to grow themselves. So by you growing, they grow. And everyone is happier, right? So you're going to develop your confidence. It's true confidence, not a mask of confidence, true confidence. And it's a natural feeling that comes from, accepting yourself and your reality. And once you accept the reality of your desires and your potentials and what you have to do to fulfill them, then you'll realize that although you don't know all the answers yet, and you will not know all the answers yet on this road, but they will come to you because you have a genuine intent to learn, and that support is there for you. Your angels and guides are there to support and uplift you, particularly in this number 1 year. They will help you, I guarantee it. Open yourselves up. You want to have an openness that can utilize whatever information your angels and guides send you along this journey. And you need to have your confidence, it's the ability to accept change as it occurs. And the one thing that's guaranteed this year is change, all right? So be aware of what's going on everywhere, locally to globally, and plan accordingly. Plan to begin something substantial. Remember, in the number 1 year, you're planning everything now for your 9-year cycle. So, if you don't start a new project, activity, job, hobby, or even a new attitude this year, in your number 1 year, it will result in this directionless frame of mind. It will keep you tied to like undesirable people, places, and circumstances. You will be this aimless drifter. This is not the year to try to keep everything status quo. This is not the year. You will be forced to change. And you do not want to end up in losing this opportunity. This is a serious opportunity for you to make changes where needed, and they will be made for you. You will have the support. Again, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If you can be open and go with the flow, ask for help from your angels and guides. I know this from doing my tarot readings and my psychic mediumship. They are there to help you. Be courageous. Be aware of your various dependencies. Imagine the freedom you enjoy without them. Are there things in your life you're dependent upon that you might have a dependence on others? I've talked about codependency. You might have a need, part of codependency is keeping others dependent on you, or a need for approval. You don't need anyone's approval. You do you do what you do for yourself. You don't need anyone's approval. And you might have a dependency on substances such as food. I know that one. Tobacco, alcohol, or drugs, or distractions like, distracting yourself on the cell phone. We all addicted to this, right? We're addicted to Facebook or different things, So um, if you're distracting yourself, in such things as entertainment, computers, or extravagance, you could be over shopping. You may be disguising these addictions so they're unrecognizable even to yourself. The key is to have an emotional cause, find this emotional cause of why you need certain things so badly, see if you can do some shadow work and come to the heart of it and just sit with that. Just sit with that part of yourself that you're trying to squelch, So it could take years for you to achieve certain results, but projects or ideas, started 3 years ago can materialize as accomplishments this year. So there may have been things, I know for sure I have this. I'm having a number 1 year. As 2024 ends, I'm going into my number 2 year. Oh, it's just been something. So many things I started and couldn't really keep at, like the YouTube channel, materialized in a big way this year. Among other things I wanted to do, I could finally had I had the support, I had the push. I had the push, I had no choice. I had to be courageous. I had the push to embrace these new things, and they show up more as accomplishments this year. And I'm just astonished, because there were all these loose ends the previous 9 years that were, finally tied up. I kept thinking, when is this going to happen? I'm trying so hard. When is this going to happen? When's that going to happen? Why can't I get this launched? Well, all the previous years, I was really struggling with that. I kept hitting a brick wall. But in the number 1 year, oh my God, it's been something. Because I knew this year was important. I knew my personal number 1 year was coming at the end of last year. I knew I had to take advantage of the energy, and I rode the wave. I planted the seeds. I did it. I knew. I looked back upon my previous number 1 year and how I didn't take advantage of the opportunities, and I suffered from not taking advantage of it. I had mistakes, and I learned from my experience. So in this year, those of you who have a personal year number 1, work through your fears instead of denying them, and you'll be able to explore humanity's journey with an open mind, and promote your own desires and interests along the way. Just have that open mind, identify what you want. Much of what occurs this year will be reflected back to you through events taking place elsewhere. Once you make that connection, you will be able to see exactly where you and your personal qualities and talents fit in. This number 1 year, even though you're going to have to work really, really hard because there's so much change to keep up with and to take advantage of, but so many things fall into place for you. So you're going to learn that life is not meant to be a struggle, but a continuous, free-flowing journey of energy that shifts, moves, vibrates, evolves through your cycles of learning. So really, do what you can. This is your year. This is your year of fresh starts. Plant those seeds. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What seeds, if you're a number 1 personal year, I would love to hear what seeds you want to plant. What are your dreams? What is your vision for the future? Oh, my phone is acting crazy. What different things do you want to accomplish this year? Do you have an idea? Have you been trying things for years and they just couldn't get off the ground? This is the year that things will get off the ground. You just have to go for it. And it's like riding that big wave. I've never surfed, but I can imagine what it's like. I have a friend that's a surfer, and she tells me all about it. We go camping together down at the beach, and I watch her surf. And I just sunbathe. But I'm imagining, like, what it's like, because it's, yes, you're going with the flow, but it's still a lot of work to go with that flow, to ride that wave. There's a lot involved. She told me all these things involved in surfing, and how you have to know so much, behind the scenes with the planning of what's actually happening. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, please be a good guest to my channel. Hit the thumbs up. And if you watch my channel on a regular basis, please subscribe for free. It really helps the algorithm of the channel so I can continue to do the free readings. Most of my readings are free. Most of my knowledge I teach is free, but I'm depending on subscribers to hit the subscribe button, notifications, share my videos, like them, in order to keep doing the free readings. I have a membership where people actually pay. The angel members have special content, and they pay $4.99 a month for special content, and more reaction from me, where I answer their questions and I honor their requests. But I do 95% of my content is free, done in my free time after I've worked all day. It's now 10 o'clock at night. I finished my regular work. I'm tired. My makeup is melting. But I do this because so far, what I've been doing is helping a lot of people, especially when I'm teaching you things for self-enrichment. And I know a lot of you like the celebrity readings too. You get to forget your troubles, and you learn a lot about tarot when you watch me do celebrity readings. So you're tuning in, and sometimes you get messages for yourself. Even though I'm reading about someone else, you may hear a message a certain way where it resonates with you, and you're meant to hear that. So please support the channel any way you can, freely, or you can PayPal me donation, Venmo me a donation. That way I keep most of the money. The information is in the description box. And check out the reading for number 2, because that will be the year coming up after this one, and you'll want to know where you're headed. Number 2 years are completely at a different pace than number 1 years. So there's a big, big difference in the flow of energy. So check that out as well. And check out last year's number 9 and see if it measures up. If you felt like you had a year of tying up a lot of loose ends and giving up what no longer serves you, so you could start your new beginning. Again, let me know in the comments. I will answer all the comments from the members, but I literally read everyone's comments and put my little heart sign with my picture next to it, so you know I read your comment. And excuse me, I can't speak unless I have something to drink. But I do address some of your questions, especially if everyone has the same question or if everyone has the same request. I address the questions in a special video series I have called Tiara's Tea, Tarot, and Talks. That is where I address the members' questions and requests. It's working out pretty well. I just started it last week, and so far it's a hit. And sometimes I read your request. Sometimes I'll get 20 similar requests, like do more numerology. And here I am doing more numerology for you, and not just the numerology for the celebrities. So I hope you're enjoying this. Please share, like, subscribe. Thank you. I have to find how to turn the video off. The button is missing. So yes, there it is. There it is. Let's ring in the new year. Let it be a good one. Bye.